Did you know that when Bram Stoker was writing his novel Dracula, he specifically modeled his main character after the Romanian prince Vlad Țepeș of Wallachia in the 1400s, who, in between his raids, would actually go from castle to castle. One of those castles was named Bran Castle, which is now a national monument. It's one of the most popular tourist spots in Romania. So today I'd like to share with you the unique cultural aspects, communication behaviors, and a current political event from the beautiful southeastern country of Romania. Both my parents, my sister and I were born in Romania, and I've always enjoyed learning about the Romanian culture. So today, first of all, I'd like to provide you with a brief overview and background of present-day Romania, the kind of communication behaviors that Romanians practice, and then a brief news story involving Romanian politics today. So I've just given you a brief overview of my speech, and now I'd like to delve into the cultural aspects. The capital of Romania is Bucharest, and with a population of 21.5 million, according to ProQuest Culturogram's section on Romania, this makes Romania the 10th in Europe and 57th in the world. With an area of 92,043 square miles, Romania is about the size of Ghana and the US state of Oregon. Switching to some culinary traditions, some popular Romanian foods include mitite, which are spiced or minced beef, pork, or lamb in sausage form, mămăligă, which is a cornmeal porridge similar to polenta, and an absolute favorite of mine is sarmale, which is minced meat with rice rolled in pickled cabbage or grape leaves. An artistic tradition in Romania, which is celebrated, is painting Easter eggs, often with religious symbols and animal designs, and another notable tradition is painting religious icons on glass. Towards the end of World War II, Romania came under the Soviet occupation and influence, which eventually established a communist regime. And later on, from 1965 to 1989, Nicolae Ceausescu led Romania under a brutal dictatorship until he was executed in a public uprising. Thus, Romania's communist heritage has led most Romanians to distrust politicians and the state, and to have a low level of community participation, believing that they can't have an impact on public policies. So now that I've discussed the cultural aspects of Romania, I'd like to speak about the communication behaviors. There are certain behavioral rules in social situations that aren't that different from the US. It's a sign of honesty to show eye contact in conversations. It's impolite for men to keep their hands in their pockets in formal situations. It's best to avoid chewing gum while having conversations, and it's best to remove your gloves before shaking hands. According to Geert Hofstede and Michael Minkov's research on the page What About Romania, last updated in 2019, Romania received a score of 90 for power distance, which means that Romanians accept a hierarchical order where everybody has a place, and this order doesn't need a justification. Romania received a 30 for individualism, meaning that Romania is a collectivistic society that values long-term commitment and loyalty to the member group is supreme. For masculinity, Romania received a score of 42, which means that Romania is relatively feminine, and it's focused on working to live, and people value equality in their working lives. For uncertainty avoidance, Romania received a score of 90, which means that Romania has a high preference towards avoiding uncertainty by maintaining rigid codes of belief and being intolerant of unorthodox behavior. For long-term orientation, Romania received a 52, which means Romania is a relatively balanced society seeking both tradition and innovation. For indulgence, Romania received a score of 20, meaning it's a restrained culture, signifying tendency to cynicism, pessimism, and control over gratification of desires. So now that I've delved a bit into the unique communication behaviors of Romania, I'd like to talk about a current political news story involving Romania. In an article titled, "I Want My Country's Image to Be Good, Has Romania's Ruling Party Moved On?" written by Kit Gillett in The Guardian and published July 16th, 2019, the article discussed the subject of political stability in spite of corruption in Romania. In just May of 2019, Romania's ruling party, the Social Democratic Party, was not only defeated in European parliamentary elections and reprimanded in a referendum on its attempt to reverse anti-corruption laws, but its party leader, Liviu Dragnea, was jailed for 3.5 years for abuse of office. In recent years, the fight against corruption and changes to the justice system in Romania have led the political dialogue. An interesting detail is that the former head of Romania's anti-corruption agency is strongly opposed by her own government, but is favored by European Parliament for the role of head of new European Public Prosecutor's Office. The current leader of the Social Democratic Party and the current Prime Minister, Viorica Dăncilă, has been consistently bombarded by accusations that she has been appointed only to serve as a proxy for Dragnea, and she claims that these are empty accusations by the opposition, and her government is actually focused on areas like education, health, and infrastructure. And she also seeks to improve relations with Transparency International, which she claims operates on a double standard due to refusals to Romania to enter the Schengen area. So now that I've discussed the current political event, I'd like to conclude my speech. So I began with a background information on cultural aspects of Romania, and as well as artistic traditions. And then I explained the unique communication behaviors of the Romanian people. And I finished with a current political event. So now I hope that I've given you enough information to whet your appetite, and maybe in the future you might go and learn about Romania on your own. Thank you.